I was excited to come back because I like this festival. I like the place. There's not, you know, a lot of times with film festivals, there's a pressure to sell the film to a distributor or all of that, whereas this festival has more of a feeling of a celebration of international cinema, which it gives it this sort of relaxed environment and a celebratory environment, which is good. I like it, and I like the place. It's magic. There's something about it that just, you know, people have been probably saying it for years and years and years, but as an Australian here, it's weirdly very, very different to where I grew up, but I feel very comfortable here. I like it. I went out yesterday to the Atlas Mountains, and sort of was taken with a local guide out there, a young guy, and he was just talking to me about the Berber way of life, and it was just beautiful, and I loved the simplicity of the lifestyle out there, and then later in the day I went out to Agafay Desert to watch the sunset and the full moon rise, and yeah, it just felt really, it was a fantastic day. I think I've probably been most of my career a character actor that haven't really had the opportunity to play characters in that sense. You know, I have played characters, but they've all been generally conventional sort of characters. So I like the idea of a departure, and I think I just got to a certain age where I could play characters, and people would trust me. Well, Ivan trusted me to play this character. And, it's fun. I mean, some actors want to challenge themselves with this sort of work, and then a lot of other actors don't. And I don't think there's a wrong or a right. But for me, I've always craved the idea of playing characters that are further away from me. Just like bit by bit. No, I think really the foundation of any character, for me, and this character in particular, comes from understanding the psychology of the character and the emotional landscape of the character as he exists in the beginning of the story, and then allowing the story to impact him and transform him in that character, and the script is measured really nicely in a very subtle way. His reconnection with humanity in a lot of ways, with himself, through the trauma of this Indigenous family and their trauma. Every job I do, I prepare in different ways. Sometimes it's almost like sometimes I stay right away from it and just think and ruminate, and then other times with this character, there was just a lot of thinking. I spent a bit of time with Ivan. We talked through a few things, and then there was just there was a lot related to place with this film. Location and space, and the impact that space and place has on you, you know, and allowing that to happen. I think, trust plays a big part of it, of just trusting that you know, I had to trust myself that I've been doing this for a long time, and that my tool will help take over, and that something that might initially start to feel very foreign to me will very quickly be absorbed into part of me, which becomes that character. So it's just degrees. It's very hard. I find it very hard to articulate because it's not a studied process. Although it's studied, it's organically studied. So a lot of it is through feel, but definitely a character like this starts at a place where there's a protection, a sort of a disengagement with the world to protect himself. This hard exterior, this shell. And, there's clues to that all throughout the script when you're looking at the script. There's obviously clues to that in the behaviour. The fact that he's a heroin addict is a not very clear and obvious marker that he's trying to disengage. Yeah, it's there's a lot of pain in Australia in our history, and a part of reconciling that pain and that struggle is directly associated with what we call in Australia truth-telling, exposing the atrocities, exposing the inefficient aspects of our society to deal with Indigenous peoples in an honourable and just way, or even in an equal way. And obviously this film shines a light on how the justice system is quite lax when it comes to Indigenous Australians in remote communities. I'm a big believer in the idea of truth-telling, no matter how painful it is or how confronting it is. I don't think anything can be healed unless you look into the wounds, so to speak. And I think films like this are very important in that process of truth-telling within our cultures in Australia. It's easy for me to get out from that character, but I think sometimes audiences are challenged by the idea of that I could play another character. But that's okay. That's just time, and that's a byproduct of being involved in a very successful show. So I'm patient. I'm a patient person. Fantastic. He's a fantastic person and a phenomenal filmmaker. He's so confident and self-assured and knows exactly what he wants. But even better, he knows actually how to do it. And he writes, he directs, he's a cinematographer, he cuts, he's the editor. So he's really in connection with every aspect of that film, from inception through to the very end. And it's really good when you're, as an actor, when you're going out more on a creative limb, to know that there's one person that is the voice of that film, of that story. It gave me great confidence working with him, and he's a very good guy. He just does things his own way, quietly.